Hey GameSpy, we're here with Rob Pardo, Director of Game Design at Blizzard, and we're checking out StarCraft Ghosts. Rob, can you tell me how the game has progressed since E3?
It's been coming on really nicely. A lot of things we've added since E3 are things like stealth kills. We've been fleshing out the AI more. We've been kind of trying to hone in on how much stealth and how much action play we wanted to have in the game. So it's really been coming along far.
How have you been working with that over the last few months?
That's definitely been a big focus for us over the last probably 6 months or so, is trying to decide how hardcore of stealth we want the game to be. And we really want to be a blend. We want to heavily encourage stealth in a lot of the missions, but at the same time, we want you to be able to kind of kick some butt with Nova, because she has a lot of really cool powers. So we're definitely kind of, some levels will be heavier stealth than others, but for the most part, we're trying to definitely blend the action with the stealth much more.
I understand you're using the races to vary the gameplay. Can you talk about that a little?
Sure. One of the things that made StarCraft really successful is how different each of the races are, and we want that to continue through with Ghost. So whenever Nova's based against the Zerg, Terran, and Protoss, she'll have to take some different tacks because of the different units they have and how powerful they are. So against the Zerg, those levels play a little more action-based, and she'll still have to sneak through hives, but those are probably the lightest of the stealth, while when you face the Protoss, who are very technologically advanced and powerful, you have to be a lot more careful, because a slip-up will mean death much more often.
We got to check out some of Nova's psi powers in the demo. Can you talk about the ones that we saw?
Sure. The 3 psi powers that she has is cloaking, which allows her to sneak through areas without being seen, but there's still a fair amount of things like cameras and observers that can see her, so it's not an all-powerful ability, but it certainly is kind of her primary stealth ability. Her second ability is her sight mode, or ocular implants, from StarCraft, and that allows her to see heat signatures. So if you're in a really dark area, or you're in a smoke-filled room or something, you can pull on your sight mode. Sight mode also will show vulnerable regions for the different enemies, so you can see stuff like when Marines have their face plates up, you can see that, and then you can snipe them, or use sniper to effectively take them out. And then her last powers are speed boost, which is a little bit kind of like the Matrix, where in a really heavy combat she can boost herself physically and actually dodge bullets.
The AI seems to have come a long way. Can you talk about what you've done over the last few months and what more you have to do?
Yeah, the AI is definitely one kind of the linchpins of a stealth action game. You got to make sure that the enemies properly hear Nova, and then investigate her. And in our particular case, it's really tricky because of the cloaking power. Since at any point you can become completely invisible, the AI needs to know that when that happens, they should bring in an observer or a science vessel or something of that nature. So that's one of the major areas we've been trying to improve upon over the last few months.
One of the things I got to see Nova do is command a siege tank. Can you talk about the different types of units that she'll be able to command in the game, and other things StarCraft fans will recognize?
Sure. Yeah, we have some levels where Nova gets the opportunity to actually jump in a StarCraft Terran vehicle, and those are definitely the areas that are a little more action-based than others. Some of the different vehicles you'll see in the game is the siege tank, complete with siege mode. You'll also be able to command a vulture and a Goliath.
What are your development goals for the next few months on Ghost?
The next few months are mainly working on, continuing to work on the AI and really trying to get the levels to the next level, so to speak. Their level design is probably the hardest part of a stealth action game, so we're really working a lot through trying to make the puzzles really interesting and making the levels such that different people can play the level in different ways depending on how they choose to utilize Nova's equipment and psi powers.
Great. Rob, thank you very much for your time. The game's looking incredible. StarCraft Ghost, look out for it.